Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating explainer. We are mapping out the entire life cycle of a product using the FlowOn ERP production system. We're going to get a comprehensive look at how a product transforms from just a mere concept in a database, literally all the way to a physical box leaving the shipping gate. If you've ever wondered how modern factories track thousands of moving parts without entirely losing their minds, well, you are in the exact right place. Let's just dive right into the core philosophy here, end-to-end manufacturing visibility. So why is breaking down silos so absolutely critical for modern production? Well, because when your master data, the shop floor, your inventory, and sales aren't speaking the exact same language, you get bottlenecks, you get wasted materials, and nobody wants that. Today, we're looking at a system that achieves absolute traceability and seamless flow, making sure literally every single drop of raw material is totally accounted for. To show you how this works, we're going to track a single product called Baby Colic Relief Drop. Our roadmap for this explainer covers setting up routing and recipes, launching production orders, handling shop floor exceptions, reviewing executive dashboards for goods receipt, and finally, logistics and dispatch. Let's jump right in. Section 1. Setup, routing, and recipes. Let's start with the absolute foundation of any manufactured good, its master data setup. This outlines the overarching FlowOn ERP lifecycle we'll be mapping today. It's a beautifully linear, logical flow. The setup data dictates exactly how we produce. Then, what we produce leads directly to what we receive into inventory. Obviously, what we receive is what we can sell, and finally, what we sell is what we dispatch. Every single step just builds right on top of the last. So first up, we define the routing. We're establishing the exact sequence of work centers here. Think of this as mapping out steps like dispensing in the RO plant, moving over to PB coating, and then drop filling in the sterile area for our 20 milliliter bottles. This routing essentially locks in the process behavior and required base quantities. It also designates exactly who, like which users or roles, whether that's the production manager or the warehouse manager, actually has authority at each specific workstation. And check out how granular this control gets. The material recipe specifies the exact bill of materials you're going to need. For a standard batch size of, say, 100 liters, we see the precise requirements, exactly 37 kilograms of glycerine, liquid flavors like sweet orange, and specific colorants. By locking all of this in before production even starts, the system practically guarantees quality control. You literally cannot accidentally use too much or too little. The ERP strictly holds that master recipe. Section 2. Launching production orders. With our master data completely dialed in, it's time to actually bring this product to life on the factory floor. Using the system's production module, known here as Core 1, we launch a production order for a specific batch of Baby Colic Release Drop 15 ml. Now, because we did all that heavy lifting in the setup phase, the system just automatically calculates the exact raw and packing materials required. Our target quantity here is exactly 6,667 pieces. Instantly, the system scales our 100-liter standard batch recipe to allocate the perfect amount of excipients, liquid flavors, and master cartons to hit that precise 6,667 target. No guesswork at all, just pure math. Section 3. Shop floor and exception handling. Now let's move out to the actual shop floor to see how all this builds into real-time tracking. Launching an order from a desk? Easy. Executing it in the chaotic, real world of factory floors, that is where the magic really happens. The Systems Operation Confirmation Screen, or CORN6, gives floor managers real-time visibility into the current process status. You can track the exact sequence of production steps we defined earlier: dispensing, filling, labeling, packing. Right now, this particular batch is marked with an in-progress status. That lets management track labor and machine duration, which is currently clocking at over 1 day and 22 hours, by the way, and it tracks the exact quantities processed at each and every workstation. But hey, what happens when production hits a snag? We all know the factory floor is an unpredictable place. A machine jams, a material shortage pops up, or maybe a quality check fails. So how exactly does FlowOn handle these inevitable hiccups without completely losing data integrity? Well, the system brilliantly enforces accountability with a hard stop. If a process gets put on hold, the operator cannot just walk away. The system throws up a prompt demanding mandatory remarks. They have to provide a specific reason, like material shortage, equipment issue, or quality hold. This ensures absolutely complete traceability of all downtime. Management doesn't have to play guessing games about why a batch is delayed. The exact reason is permanently logged right into the system's history. Section 4. Dashboards and goods receipt. Let's zoom out for a second and look at this from a high-level management perspective. We've been pretty deep in the weeds of a single batch, but executives really need that big picture. So the really crucial point to remember here is that a modern factory isn't just making one product at a time. They might easily have 143 active productions happening simultaneously across multiple plants and shifts. Managing all of that requires a seriously powerful eagle-eye view. Enter the Operations Snapshot Dashboard. This aggregates all that shop floor data instantly. Executives can monitor those 143 active batches sitting in the queue, track recent production activity literally down to the minute, and keep an eye on global KPIs, like the 17.59% yield rate we're seeing right now. And remember that little snag we just talked about? You can actually spot the exact single item placed on blocked or on hold immediately, flagging right away that it requires some attention. Once our batch clears all those steps and is successfully completed, we execute a final goods receipt via the MIGO 101 module. This officially moves those perfectly crafted 6,667 pieces of baby colic relief drop completely out of the work-in-progress phase, dropping them directly into our available finished goods inventory. The factory's job is officially done, and the product is now a tangible, sellable asset on the company's books. Which brings us to Section 5. Logistics, sales, and dispatch. Now that we have the product safely sitting in inventory, let's see how FlowOn connects that production directly to revenue. When a customer, in this case Super Homeo Store, places a sales order, the system seamlessly generates a delivery order. Because the ERP is fully integrated across the board, it immediately talks to that inventory we just created. It allocates exactly 140 pieces of the baby colic relief drop right from our newly manufactured stock. The loop is finally closing. And this brings us to the final physical step of our product's journey. We use the Digital Outward Gate Pass software module, which pulls all the necessary data straight from the delivery order. When approved, it directly generates a secure printed Gate Pass document. That document details the 140 pieces, the exact number of master cartons, and is completely ready for the driver's signature. The digital twin perfectly matches the physical reality, handing the product straight over to the driver and completing the product's journey right out of the facility. So I'm going to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought to consider today. Does your current operational setup flow this seamlessly? As we've seen throughout this explainer, a truly integrated system doesn't just record data in isolated silos. It actively accelerates your entire business flow. From the meticulous setup of a material recipe, right down to the exact moment a truck drives out the final shipping gate. True operational efficiency is all about absolute control and absolute visibility. Thanks so much for joining me for this walkthrough of the FlowOn ERP system. Keep optimizing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.